badminton inside the maybe badminton hall and so on. Okay, so you have two variable. One is badminton that deal with database. Another one is hall, also will deal with database, where consists of student, both consist of student. So many students, I will not have only one student, I will have many students. Okay, so in this case, I am saying that my database will have two. Okay, one for badminton, where I have a list of students inside my badminton club, and hall means I have a list of students who are playing badminton inside the hall there. Okay, and then after that, remember just now, I have a scenario there, okay, where just now I put mean age, right? Customer age less greater or equals to mean age. Okay, so this one, I want to tell other things. Okay, I want to say that those who are playing inside the hall are actually must be from my badminton club. I want to say like that. So if I want to say that those who are playing badminton inside the badminton hall there must come from the badminton club, then it is those who are inside the hall is a subset of my badminton members. Okay, so it's a subset there. So how to show that? You use hall, my variable here, okay, hall. Don't use basic type. Don't use basic type. Basic type is for declaration only. So inside here, you have hall here, and then subset of badminton, my variable here. Okay. Another thing is that I want to say that because just now I have max player inside the badminton hall. Okay, so maximum 20 players only. So I want to say that those who are playing inside the hall cannot exceed the maximum limit just now. Okay, so how to do that? Here you see of type N. Here of type N. But here of type student. So two different types. One is basic type, another one is integer. One is string, one is integer. So two different types. So if you want to make it the same, is either both go for the student or both go for N. So because student will be difficult because max player is of type N. So we are using student to change, like what one of your friends said, casting, type casting. Okay, so something like that, but here it's not, we say that one is programming. So it's similar. You are changing the type from string to integer. So how to do that? You use cardinality. Okay, you use cardinality. When you put cardinality hall, you are checking how many students inside the badminton hall there. So you calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. You are calculating in terms of number. You don't check the name, Jim, Alex, City, whatever. You don't check in terms of the name. You just check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the data that you will get will be in integer value. So let's say you have 15 names there. So 15 less or equals to max player 20. So 15 less or equals to 20 is actually integer comparing to integer. It is acceptable into our system. So if let's say you have different type of, let's say basic type to N to do comparison, you have to use cardinality symbol. Okay, so when you do this, you are calculating how many students are playing badminton at that moment. So let's say we have 15 students, 15 less or equals to 20. So it is acceptable because N compared to or less than compared to another N. Okay, so that is actually how you want to show if the basic type, if the type are different. Okay, one is basic type, one is N, so you have to use cardinality symbol. Okay, so this is predicate part for your state space symbol. Okay, the one that I showed you just now. Okay, so from here, you see that I didn't have input, I didn't have output. Because for state space schema, you normally don't have input, output inside your state space schema. No input, no output. input output normally will be inside your operation schema. Okay, so from here, when it comes to state space schema, no input variable, output variable involved yet. Okay, so after you have done the state space schema, then after that should be the initial state. But from this slide, I didn't put the initial state. I didn't put the initial state. Okay, but actually initial state, if you want to do here, you can put init badminton club, for example. And then after that, badminton, you have badminton club as the declaration. And then badminton equals to empty set, hall equals to empty set. Okay, so you can put empty set for both. Okay, so after that, after you do state space schema, okay, you will see that, okay, after you do initial state and so on, you go for the operation schema. Okay, so actually in the operation schema, okay, where all the the input and output will be involved, also will involve the prime variable. Remember, we have the 3 decoration, okay, prime, exclamation marks, and also question mark there, okay, to show change, to show input and also output. Okay, so those are actually the things that you have to remember will be involved a lot in the operation schema. So now, when you do your state space here, you normally didn't do the prime, but actually, because we need the prime variable to do some updates later. Actually, we need to do that. So, if you want to do that, you have to create another state space. Actually, you have to create another, we call as prime state space. You have to create another prime state space. Okay, so the one that you have here is without prime value. Okay, badminton and hall. Then you should have, okay, with prime value where you have badminton prime and hall prime to show after. Okay, normally you should have that. So you can have something like this where you have badminton club prime, and then you have 2 variables same like original. This is the original. This is the original badminton club just now that we have without prime. You see, without prime, this is the original. Then after that, actually, you have to do another state space with prime. Okay, with prime. Actually, you have to do this. Okay, so means that it will be the same as the just now, just that every variable here will be prime. You see, all with prime. Okay, all with prime, except max player. Max player is the the axiomatic definition, so you don't need the prime for that. But for other than that, local, this is local for this one, prime here also must be prime. Okay, so you have to proceed with this. But okay, if you want to do updates, something like that, you can create a combination of the badminton, original badminton club plus with prime badminton club. You do combination. So normally we do combination, we put delta lah. Okay, we didn't put Z notation, we put delta. Normally will be like that. So you do like this. Actually, it should be like this. Okay, you do combination because it's like no need separate. So you will have something like this. You do combination. But in our system, when you do a lot of combination like this, it will be very, very, very long. Okay, it will be very, very long. So what you need to do actually, okay, this is where your schema inclusion comes in. Just now, the one that I showed you. Okay, originally, this is what it looks like. Okay, what it looks like. And then after that, you want to proceed with your operation schema. So when you want to proceed with your operation schema, let's say just now I have add customer. Now I add member to the badminton club. Okay, so originally from this prime, 4 variable, 2 badminton without prime, hall here, 1 with prime, hall also with prime, and then these are the information. So you have the same thing just now. This one, 4. And then I want to add new member. So I need input into my system because I want to add a new member. So when I want to add a new member, this is where your input variable comes into your schema, your operation schema. So I want to add member. So I create an input variable with question mark. Okay, with question mark. Because I want to add member, I create one variable, input variable with question mark. Okay, so the type must be the same as what you want to add. So I store as student, as badminton member, hall also student, then here also must be student, must be the same type. Okay, must be the same type. Okay, so for this one, because I want to add one by one, okay, I want to add one by one, so I don't need to use power set anymore. Because I am adding one data, one data, one data. So no need to use power set. Okay, so I have this. So this is your input variable just now, appear inside your operation schema. So we are going to have an operation schema called add member. So we add the input variable. So this is local variable, like your programming lah. Okay, this is local variable. So you declare your variable here. This variable will need to be used inside add member only. Cannot be used in other operation schema because this is local variable. Okay, local variable. So when you do this, you are declaring an input variable. So your predicate, this predicate just now from badminton club will be inside here also. 4 lines here will be the same. You just copy paste. Okay. And then after that, remember, if you want to add member, of course, the member does not exist yet in your database, right? The member does not exist yet in database. So this is where your precondition comes into your operation schema. Okay, your member must not exist yet. So how to show that the member does not exist yet in your database? Okay, remember we do the member of, not a member of symbol. So this is where your statement, how you do it. So new member input, I am checking the member that I want to add. Okay, I am checking whether this member is actually, I want to check whether exists or not. So if I want to add, this member that I want to add must not exist yet in my database. Okay, so our state space schema, this is communicate with database. So, or this one lah, communicate with the badminton and hall. So, here, I am checking with database. Does my new member that I want to add exist or not in my database? So, I have to make sure that the new member does not exist if I want to add the new member into my database. So, my expression or my statement here, new member must not exist yet in my database. Okay, so the whole statement here we call as precondition. Okay, the whole statement here we call as precondition. Okay, so after checking, remember just now, inside the predicate part must always be true. So all this is true. Then I want to update my database data. So I want to add the new member into my database data. So how to add, okay, into my database data is by using union symbol. Okay, by using union symbol. So just now we have, okay, we have prime variable. Okay, so I want to add. I want to add badminton. So how to add? I use badminton prime equals to badminton without prime union new member. Curly braces, If remember, I told you on the right side of the equal symbol or whatever must have curly braces if it deals with data. Because this is data, so deal with data, you must put curly braces. So what does this mean? Prime means the latest update. Changes, okay, the update. So badminton is the old database. So let's say the old database, I have 20 students in my database. Then I union with the new data here. So badminton, student, and same data type, no problem. So 20 plus 1, I will have 21 as the new badminton members. I will have 21 as the new badminton members. So in this case, my database will have 21 members lah. So this is when you see prime here, it shows post condition. Okay, so because I am adding new badminton members only, so I will not have an update to those who are playing in the badminton hall. So I need to show also. So how to show that? I put hall prime equals to hall. What it means by this statement is the new updates hall database will remain as the same as the old one. So we say that remain unchanged. Okay, remain unchanged. So the new data is the same as the old data. So this information tell us that this is remain unchanged database data. Okay, so that is what you mean by this. So these two, when you see prime, okay, it will be telling us about post condition. So post condition for every variable must appear once only. Means badminton prime only one. You cannot have another badminton prime again. Cannot. Must appear once only. So badminton prime once, hall prime once. So you cannot have hall prime equals to hall union, another one hall prime equals to hall. Cannot. You cannot have twice. You must have at least one only per your operation schema. Okay, so from here, because you see, very long, right? Very long. And it comes from this one, delta badminton. So from here, rather than you write down one by one like this, then why not you just simplify like this? So this is where I showed you just now using delta or Z notation, where you are actually, the process is actually, you simplify the version here into this version. And then for just now, you have new member, students, you just add this because this is local. Then the rest of the information, this part, you don't have to write also here. You just put only the precondition and the post condition. So like this. So this is actually how you proceed with your operation schema. Okay. So your operation schema normally will have input or output variable, and then you will have pre and post condition. So any questions until here? Any questions until? Yes, I will share later. Okay. I will share inside the Google Classroom later. Yes, I will share the word. So any questions until here before we end our class? Any question? Let me stop the recording. So any question? All of you? All okay? So for this one, okay, this is how you proceed with your operation schema. So gradually, we are going to do exercise in the tutorial and so on. So gradually, we will show more on how to do this. But at the starting point here, you have to remember how to start with your state space schema and how to start with the operation and so on, where you see your input output variable and so on. Okay, so up to here, I hope that you know your state space schema, your initial state, and also until starting of your operation schema. Okay? So any questions before we end our class for today? Any question from all of you? Any question? Okay lah, if no question, it's 12:01 already, so I will end. Delta, okay? No need. Okay, for our schema, no need. Because the one that I showed you in the slide here is actually the original step. The original step. But for our assignment, you don't need to do that. No need. Just simply straight away put the something like the last slide here. No need to do the no need to do this part. Sorry. Wait, where is my slide already? Okay, so you don't need to do this part. No need. This one no need. Actually, I want to show how you get this. But in your exercise, in your assignment, you just straight away do this. No need to do this part. No need. Okay, no need to do this part. This one I just want to show the process of how do you get this. But in our assignment and so on, tutorial and so on, you don't need to do that. Okay, Okay, any more questions before we end? No question? Okay, so if no more questions, then I will end our class for today. Thank you all for joining this online. So I actually put the formal replacement class, okay? So for that formal replacement, no need for you to attend. Just in the timetable, it will appear, but you don't need to attend. Okay, so thank you all for joining this class. I will see you during tutorial, practical, and some of you may see Miss Mazlinda during your tutorial and practical. Thank you all. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.